Alright, we're going to do an unboxing of a Ruger LCP MAX 380 automatic pistol. Now the Ruger LCP is an extremely interesting handgun. I remember back in 2008, long before I was making YouTube videos, I bought, or that's when Ruger introduced this pistol, which is just basically a polymer frame pocket pistol in 380 automatic. Okay, LCP stands for light compact pistol. They went to the SHOT Show in 2008 and they sold out a year and a half's worth of production during the SHOT Show. So that meant when Ruger started kicking into production, they already had a year and a half's worth of work sold and ordered. Okay, ordered. And it took me about a year and a half, 2 years before I got one. And I remember I paid like $310 or something. But before that, if you found one, and this is when we're going to talk about prices and panics and that, you would pay way more than that. You were paying $400 or more. It was a good pistol. It was a nice little 6-shot lightweight pistol you put in your pocket. It was great. But it come down to where it was so popular, somebody was bothering me terribly. They wanted that gun. And they were bothering me, and I ended up selling it to the guy, and actually I charged him more than what I paid for it because I still had the box in it. And then I went and bought a Taurus 738 little 380 afterwards. And that there, I remember during one of the panics, it was years later, 2010, 2011 or something, I paid almost $300 and I paid $320 or $3 something for that gun. Okay, so this here. Why did I buy this gun? Well, I did a web search and I found this for a hell of a lot less, but we'll talk about price later. Let's look at what we got. So it comes in a nice little box. And what you get, you got your paperwork here. We got manual. I'll get. So you have your manual from Ruger. Get a sticker, NRA card. Save. Okay, you got a 20% discount for Ruger sportswear, underwear, whatever the hell you want. Okay. And I believe this is a warranty card or something. I don't know what this is. And my bill here. Now, I ended up paying $362.69 for this delivered. That's with the transfer fee and everything. And I know there are places that retail this gun for over $400 or about $360 what I paid. So we'll discuss that maybe in another video or something, because this is where you got to watch what you do. Alright, so what do we got? Everything's all in here. We have a lock. Let's get that out of the way. The magazine, which is not in the pistol. And I believe this is a 10-shot. This is a 10-shot mag. Okay, the gun. The magazine loader. Now they give you another extended finger rest bottom plate for the magazine, okay, which is cool, and this little pocket holster thing, so that's pretty neat. Alright, so we'll put the holster and stuff aside, mag loader, and the other plate, and then it comes wrapped in the plastic, and it has a little chamber block. Alright, so I see this is gonna, yes, this has a hole built. Alright, so you got your chamber indicator. Now let me see if this, yep. Alright, so there we go. Now, I'm not quite sure. I don't have my LCP. This may be a little bit bigger than LCP, or maybe not. I don't. All right, let's look at the pistol. Now, Pocket pistols are pocket pistols. Okay, not much to them. All right, this here is a hammer-fired single action gun. It's not striker fired like a vast majority of both full-size and compact guns are. About the only controls you have is you have a slide release. The safety is this two-piece trigger type of deal again, okay? And you got the mag release, which is reversible, and if you go through the manual, it gives you pictures and really good details on how to swap that over, okay, to the other side. So that's ambidextrous. The slide stop is not, okay. You got texturing on there, nothing can be changed with the grip. The loaded chamber indicator is there's a gap here, and supposedly the manual says that when you got a cartridge in there you can see the brass in the barrel. So the only other thing else, you have this big opening here in the back, and they said when the gun is cocked, so you observe how it is, you can look in there and see the hammer is up, and when you have the weapon cocked, I believe you can look down in there and see that the hammer's back. You'll see the hammer laying down at the bottom. Now, from what I remember of the old guns, this gun is shaped a bit differently. The original LCP was rounded and had real small sights. The Taurus 738 just had a groove in the barrel like a lot of old 25 automatic pocket guns. That's all it had. It didn't really have sights. This thing has highly visible sights here. These sights are huge. I don't really know how. And the rear groove in that sight. These sights are huge, highly visible, even without light. Okay, you can see these. And the sight, the rear sight, is driftable. That's the only adjustment. There's no elevation or nothing. They tell you to tap it with a mallet. Okay. It's got cocking serrations both up front and the back, which is pretty neat. And has that barrel recoil system on there. Actually, it's a pretty neat gun. And like I said, you have the slide release right here, this way. Yep, that goes. The one on the Spectrum is pretty rugged, you know, to use. So that's about it for the features, okay? And again, this type of gun, you know, that you would load it with a round in the chamber if you're in real desperate areas, and then, you know, your only safety is you have to have the trigger, the little center bar, and that's it. And it is single action. So, the only other thing about this is field stripping it. Okay, they tell you to clear the weapon, get the mag out, all right, take it back, and then there's this pin here, okay, and we'll zoom in here, take this apart, take a screwdriver blade and kind of you probably have to get up here on the slot in the slide and pry it up. Here it pop, there's a spring, a wire spring in there in the frame that latches onto that notch there. Then slide just comes off like this. Okay, you have your pistol, and like on a lot of these, it's a solid frame in here that runs kind of the full length with a few gaps instead of just like one little metal thing in the chassis. And there's your hammer. You can see down in there. It's a pretty simple gun, pretty basic. And I believe these have some kind of, their frames have a glass-filled something or other. There's something special about Ruger's frames. They're supposed to make them a lot more durable or stronger. Okay, and then you have your basic slide recoil rod with springs. Push that forward. And I believe there's 2 springs on here. There's double spring, and then the barrel you just push forward and lift out like this. Okay, there's your barrel. There's this recoil mechanism, and there's your slide with everything. Pretty simple gun, pretty basic design. There's a better look at them sights. I kind of like these better than what was on there. If I had to yank this out of my pocket, I could acquire these sights a lot easier. Alright, well what I'm going to do is, while I got this apart, I'm going to clean the oil off of this and clean this gun, then I'll come back and we'll reassemble it. Okay, the weapon, I cleaned the oil and that came from the factory off. Cleaned all that out, cleaned the barrel out. There was some grime and grit in the barrel. And then, like, people don't clean their weapons. Always clean your weapon. It's imperative you clean that factory oil out of there, because if you don't and you fire it, it turns into this sticky goo that's a real pain in the ass after you heat it up to get off. So I clean all that out, and then lubricating, I just spray this lightly on, the rails here, and on the barrel, a little bit on this, and then wipe off the excess. Very light lubricant. That's all it's needed right at the moment. Okay, so now we're going to put it back together. Take your slide, like this, get your barrel inside there. Okay, then you compress the springs, and you get it in there. Alright, there we go. And get it down to where your little round thing's in a notch, like that. Then you take your frame, and all you do is you slide it back, they say, to where it looks like it's in a fully closed position, like this. Okay? Then you take your pin, and you'll see it in there, in that hole. You will see that little wire spring. So you would want to come down at an angle until you compress that and get this pin to slide in. And you'll find the pin, I found, you gotta kind of pull the slide back gently, and then it'll snap right in there, and you want it locked down in. If you just try to push it, I found that it's difficult, and you gotta just move the slide back a hair, and I guess get that barrel pressure off of there, and it'll snap right in, and you're all set and ready to go. So, pretty simple taking it apart. Now, right off the bat, this here, again with me, in the finger. Okay, these guns, that's the one thing about them, the finger on there. Especially like when I did the Taurus, what was it? PX4, whatever that pistol was, that was an issue. But luckily, Ruger was nice enough to where you can have this floor plate, just like that, okay, which would make this ultra concealable. And I know some people that, the person's bigger than me, he can get all 3 fingers on that gun. But it's just a matter, you take your mag, depress that button down in there, slide off the plain base, and snap on this one with the extension. Now let's see how that works. And I have ordered from Ruger 2 12-round factory magazines that have a little mag extension on there. Now this, for me, as you see, I got something to get a finger on there. Still not quite enough. So I think I'm going to go with using the 12 round extended magazines with this piece. This is better. I got a grip on it now. I got all 3 fingers on there. So with that little extension, but then again, the more you extend it, the less concealable the gun is. Its footprint, you know, or it may when you tuck it in your holster or pocket, but that's the way to go for me. So this will be filed with extra parts. Now the other thing you get a neat little magazine loader. A lot of companies are giving you little magazine loaders to go with these guns. And it's one of them deals, you push it down to help depress your floor plate. I don't know how well it works, or I don't know how difficult it is to load the magazine. But at least you get it and you don't have to pay extra. Now what's really neat with Ruger, what they do is they only give you 1 mag, okay? Taurus gives you 2 mags. I can't remember which is in the 738 Taurus. And I can't remember if there was an extra mag. There may not have been. I think Ruger only gives you 1 magazine. But what they do throw in is this neat little holster here. And I believe what this is one of these holsters that you would put in like this and then drop it into your pocket. Okay, so let's see how that works. Alright, so the whole idea of this, but this is where I carry my keys and stuff, because I'm right-handed, is you drop this down into your pants pocket, and as you move and that, it holds the gun up so you can just put your hand in and draw, which it's kind of stuck on there, draw out the gun. Okay, the whole idea, I guess, is to keep this in your pocket more or less like a holster, so you can get it and just yank it out. You know, you can get a hold of the grip first instead of if you just threw it in your pants pocket. You know, then the thing rattles around in there, turns, twists as you're moving. So that's good. Let's see if I can do this. I like wearing these cargo pants, but then again, that's where I carry my wallet. Drop it down in there, in this pocket. It's a little bit bigger, so it might move or rattle about, but you can reach down. Yeah, I got more. Get used to it, you can pull it out. So that's pretty neat little thing they throw in there. You know, for somebody like me, I don't know, that's pretty cool. Alright, so the holster, you know, these type of guns, I really never got into holsters or carrying them. I did for the 738, and I bought a real nice expensive holster that you clipped on your pants, is inside your pants, pull your shirt over, and you can wander around with that little gun. It was much smaller than this. It was only 6 shots, I believe. But you can carry that thing with you all over, nobody knew. Of course, you have to watch out with your concealed carry laws. You're not supposed to be in a bar drinking with a damn loaded gun on you, okay? At least not in this state. But this is pretty neat. It'll drop into your pants pocket. Because most of these guns, when I carry them, that's what they do. They either go into a pocket or in a jacket pocket, or they're in the truck in the console or something, okay? You know, I don't carry my carry guns on my person at all times. It's like if I drive the vehicle somewhere and a situation is to where I believe I should have a gun, then I take the gun in, usually in my pants pocket. So this thing here is pretty neat. You know, of course, you could probably buy several different types of ways of carrying this, and holsters from really nice leather and suede things to, you know, this nylon stuff like this. Actually, somebody made a comment that they made something like this for another gun that you can put a spare mag in. But realistically, this type of a gun, if I get 12 round magazines, which are coming, and we'll discuss that in another video, this 10 rounder to me is sufficient, because 10 rounds is a lot better than 6 or 7 with most of these pocket guns. Actually carry 6-7 rounds at the most. 12 would be more than enough, and all you'd need is the one loaded mag, okay, in my opinion. Of course, some people, they like having 4 or 5 12 round magazines, you know, and all that other fun stuff. But for me, for what this is, a little concealed carry pocket gun, and this is pretty neat. We'll go and compare this to other guns comparable in that. And so the mag capacity, it is bigger than the older pistol, I remember. The older pistol was more rounded and didn't have the larger sights on it like this one does. Alright, so we're going to do some more videos. We'll compare this to the Spectrum and anything else I got in this class, pros and cons. And of course we're going to go out and we're going to shoot them and see how they do. Alright guys, thank you and stay tuned.